Let's take you to KwaZulu-Natal this morning, where members of the Justice and Security Cluster will brief the media this morning on their state of readiness ahead of the shutdown. The Provincial Police Commissioner is also expected to share a plan of action in response to threats of violence. Newzroom Afrika's Karinda Jagmohan is standing by ahead of that briefing. And Karinda, KZN is important because we're looking at this shutdown in many respects through the lens of the unrest in July 2021, correct?
Absolutely, Michelle. That is the major concern, especially regarding the citizens of this province who are reminded of that deadly week in July in 2021, especially when you consider the threats of violence being made for that looming shutdown. Already, I can tell you, we've seen social media posts by former members of the eThekwini Metro Police who are still working alongside private security companies and urban precinct committees. They're going around parts of Durban looking at areas where tires are strewn on the side of the road that could be linked to Monday's shutdown, so they're removing those tires as well as just trying to look out for any signs of where these protests might flare up. We'll just take you a look. Of course, this briefing is going to start in the next few minutes. You'll see there are members of the police service. So like you mentioned, the Provincial Police Commissioner is here. We expect as well the RTI members to come through just in terms of traffic control for the better part of Durban, considering the roads that will be blocked, among other high-profile security members. Of course, this is the Justice and Security Cluster. A major concern as well is whether SANDF members will be deployed to KZN. We heard earlier this week that they will be on standby in parts of the province. But of course, some of the concerns from the ground is that while police authorities are looking at this protest and trying to curb any sort of violence, what will happen to areas of national key points? Will there be a space then for criminal activity to get underway, considering all attention will be on that shutdown? We're going to ask those questions today, but more importantly, wait for the address from the police commissioner about what that plan of action will be, because KZN has been through some of the deadliest days in recent history, just in terms of looking at the July unrest. So certainly businesses cannot afford to take the consequences of a shutdown, especially because of all of the economic situations that they're currently facing. We've heard on the ground from citizens of who might be supporting this shutdown because of the demands in terms of load shedding. However, there are others who are concerned about the threats of violence and what impact this will have on private businesses. So we are also expecting some members of private businesses here to speak about their plan of action in terms of private security, as well as taxi associations, to see whether all taxi groups in KwaZulu-Natal are in line with what Santaco and the National Taxi Alliance has to say, just in terms of saying that they do not want to take part in this shutdown. This briefing will start just around 8:30, I believe, and I'll give you another update on what they have to say just afterwards.